Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Ad America TV. Hi, I'm Maya Trainer. I'm one of the guides here at Ad America, and we welcome our audience joining us online. We truly hope that you are doing well and staying safe amidst this outbreak. Anyway, for those of you who are first-timers here, hi, welcome to Ad America TV for the first time. Ad America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center. Our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. We have temporarily moved to a solely digital platform so you can enjoy our program from the comfort of your own home and help flatten the curve of COVID-19. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comment box below, and our panelists will answer them later in the seminar. And for our friends here who are joining us through Zoom, there are a couple of features that you can use to actively participate in the seminar. You can use the raise hand section to ask your questions with your video on, or you can also use the chat box section whenever you wanted to say hi to the other participant and also the panelist as well. But please keep in mind to use these features wisely, right? Cool. Now today we will be having the second session of TOEFL iBT. But as per usual, before we begin, we are going to have a social media quiz. Are you guys ready? Okay, here we go. The question is it true or false that TOEFL iBT at home tests are monitored by human proctor? I will repeat the question one more time. Listen carefully. Is it true or false that TOEFL iBT at home tests are monitored by human proctor? You can participate this quiz through our social media comment section, and stay tuned till the end of this program to find out if you got the answers right. Now, one more thing before we begin, please don't hesitate to take a selfie, capture this moment, and share through your social media and let everyone know that you are having a great time with Ad America. And don't forget to tag us on Instagram at ATAmerica. And now, without further ado, please welcome our speaker for today, Ibu Hafilia.
Hi, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very healthy and happy this afternoon. All right. Okay. That's right, Fina. It's good afternoon. Okay. So happy to see all of you here. I can see the participants, the number of participants from my screen. And as Maya has already said, that we are going to talk about the TOEFL iBT, and this is the second session out of the 3 sessions that we have, okay, with Ad America. All right. Now I'm going to share my screen, and I don't know whether some of you had the time to join us or not, okay, last time, but I'm just going to remind those of you who did join, right? I'm just going to remind those of you who did join and to update those of you who just joined us today. All right, so this is what we talked about on the first session, right? Okay, now we did talk about who accepted the TOEFL at that time. There are more than 10,000 universities and other institutions. And we talked about that the skills that are tested for the TOEFL iBT. We have the 4 skills: speaking, writing, listening, and reading. And the score, okay, the score is now 120 if you get all of these skills: speaking, writing, listening, and reading, each, okay? If you have each a 30, right? So you will have the 120, which is the perfect score, okay? Now, the first update that I did say last time was that since August 2019, last year, all right, ETS, the makers of the TOEFL iBT, the Educational Testing Service, that's an examination board in the US, right? They did come up with a policy which is my best scores. That's something that you need to know and that you need to remember, AKA, also known as the super scores. So what does it mean, my best scores and super scores? It means that if you take a date, if you take a test, if you take the TOEFL iBT, right, within the validity date, right, then what happened is you can, and you take another test, right? Then what happened is you can, of course, accumulate the best scores that you have. So this is just an example, and this is the example that I showed all of you last week, yeah? That, for example, if your test date on test date 1, if your score for reading is 20, your listening 22, okay, and your writing and speaking got a 17, okay, what happened is on the next test date, the score changed, and your speaking and writing becomes better, which is 20 and 19, but your reading and listening is a little bit lower. So what happens? So what you can submit to the university, what you can submit to the university is, of course, your best score, meaning your best score is not 78, as you can see from the second test date, but your best score is an 81. How come? Because you're taking two of the highest scores on the different test dates, right? You're taking 20 and 22, and you're taking the 20 and 19. So if you add that up, it'll total up to 81. And usually most universities in the US accept a score of 81. I think Fina and Santika, okay, can tell you more about scores that American universities, right, and other universities, of course, usually accept. Okay, so my best scores is actually to be able to give the test takers, all right, to show the universities of their best performance. It is a combination again of the highest section scores from all valid test dates. So score reports, all right, so this is an example of the score reports. This is what you will get when you take the TOEFL. You'll get the score reports. And if you have taken 2 times, okay, what happened is that you will have the first score also available. So this is just an example, all right, for this person who has taken 2 times TOEFL iBT. That means both the scores are there, yeah, are provided. All right. So please again, because many of my students, many of you probably are asking, what's the score that I need to have to enroll, to be accepted in the university of my choice? Well, then you can, of course, consult the international students admission officers at the universities. You can consult, of course, the advisors, Education USA advisors, that's Fina, if you can see Fina on the chat box, and also Santika there, okay? And of course, you can check regularly, okay, update yourself on ETS website, which is ets.org. Okay, so don't forget when you go to ets.org, this is the home page, right? And as you can see, ETS makes different kinds of tests, not just the TOEFL, also the GRE. I think most of you who are also going on pursuing your master's degree, your doctoral degree, usually universities also requires for the GRE, yeah, score. Okay, so don't forget to log in, okay, to ets.org, log in and select TOEFL iBT, and make sure that you log in as a test taker, and it will take you, of course, to whatever that you want to know. Yeah, so that's just a reminder from me, an information from me for those of you who just joined today. And now the second update that I would like to talk about and remind you, because of the pandemic at present, right? And it's still, I think, very much going on, right, in many parts of the world, in many other countries as well. You might want to check, okay, if test centers in Indonesia and test centers in other parts of the world, whether they're open or not, then you can, of course, see in the ets.org that now they have also the TOEFL iBT special home edition. And I think the question, the quiz question that Maya gave you at the beginning of this event was that, is this IBT special home edition proctored or monitored by a human being? Well, you can go to this site and find the answer. Okay, and our test centers open in Indonesia. All right, check again, ets.org, check again. You have a special page, which informs you, which will inform you where the test centers are here in Indonesia, all over Indonesia, in different cities, and whether they are open already or not. Okay? Okay. So now let's go on to what we were going to discuss today. And as I said, this is the second session of the third. So we will be focusing on the TOEFL iBT integrated speaking tasks, right? Last week, which was on October 3rd, we talked about the TOEFL iBT reading and listening, right? I'm going to review a little bit about the reading and listening for those of you who did not get a chance, of course, to join us last week. And for those of you who did join, and this is your second session with us, you can rekindle, okay? You can sort of like rekindle on what we discussed about the reading and the listening. But today, afterwards, I will be more focusing on the speaking section, especially the integrated skills, because I think integrated skills are quite new to us, because usually when we talk about TOEFL, we really don't know, or we didn't have in the past, right, the integrated skills. Okay, so let's just remind ourselves. Okay, I'm going to review a little bit about the reading section. Again, it will consist of 3 to 4 passages. And of course, because this is TOEFL for academic purposes, naturally, the academic texts, right, are taken from textbooks. It's really taken from textbooks. So ETS did not make up the passages. They have bought copyrights of books, okay, and it's from all kinds of fields, right? But don't worry, it's 101 stuff. What I mean by 101 stuff, it's an introductory. So for example, you're going to have an academic text on psychology. And maybe you said, I don't know anything about psychology. I didn't study psychology, and I'm not going to study psychology. That's okay. Okay? Because these are just the stuffs, introductory stuff that anybody can actually understand. Again, it depends on your ability. Remember that the TOEFL iBT assess your ability to be able to understand whether you can understand text, academic text. Yeah, it can be any academic text. Okay, so it will consist of 3 to 4 passages, approximately 700 words long, followed. Each passage will be followed by 10 questions, and some questions are worth more than 1 point, right? We're used to understanding that if I get one question right, that means I get 1 point right. But with the TOEFL iBT, there are a few questions, okay, which are worth more than 1 point. Don't worry, because on the test, it will tell you whether this question is worth more than 1 or not. Yeah? Okay. So again, these are the skills. And if you look at the skills, the reading and the listening skills, right? These are the skills that we study ever since I think we were in junior high school and high school and college. If you're taking the TOEFL for the master's degree, then you've been in college, right? And so these are all the skills that are actually have been studied previously. I mean, it's English. What reading skills do you need to know? What reading skills do you need to master? Comprehension, reading comprehension, reading to learn. Reading to learn is to be able to summarize, okay, to be able to classify, to categorize, to organize. The buzzword now with the COVID-19 pandemic is cluster, right? Remember that cluster comes from the word group, okay? So to cluster also, we can also put here to cluster, okay? To organize, to group, yeah? And inference questions now. Inference questions are questions that ask about something that are not explicitly stated. You cannot really uh, see it in the text. You cannot really read it from the text, but are questions in which you have to find the answer based on conclusion. Okay, based on your conclusion, based on your past experiences, based on your understanding of what the whole text says. So this is what we call the implied meaning. All right, implied meaning. Okay, and we also have a rhetorical purpose. We discussed about rhetorical purpose already last week, right? And insert text. Okay, so these are the very exciting one, I think. The classifying, the insert text, all right? And we'll have a look. We'll have a look later on. Okay, as far as the listening is concerned, again, you have the gist. Remember what gist means. Gist is the main idea, yeah? Gist content, gist purpose. We have detailed questions. And of course, we have that coherence and cohesion, meaning the connection between one idea and another. Now, with listening, that means you have to understand, okay, spoken English. One person is saying one sentence and continued by other sentences, and you've got to find out or you've got to figure out what's the connection. Why did the professor say this? And then he gave all those kind of background and examples. So you have to understand the connection. This is what we call connecting information question. Understanding organization. Is the professor saying something listing something? Okay, so these are the findings. Number one, number two, number three, number four, listing. Or is the professor listing based on a sequence? Meaning, okay, so if you want to do research, and this is how you do it. First, you have to do this. Second, you have to do that. Third, now, that is what we call organization. Okay, and it's both in reading as well as listening. Connecting content, making inferences again, and of course, pragmatic understanding. Pragmatic understanding is not just understanding the words, the sentences, okay, that the speakers are saying, are uttering, but also understanding the tone. Okay, you can say oh with different tones for different kinds of purposes, with different kinds of feelings, meaning different things. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to give an example. Santika, are you there?
Yes,
And Sina is also there, right? Okay, Santika, please say oh. Okay, Santika, I want you to say oh, but this oh. Okay. If I said, Santika, you're going to get a raise starting next month. So what's your oh going to be like?
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Why? It sounds like you're not really believing that.
Iya, agak disbelief.
Okay. All right. Fina. Hi, Fina. Long time no hear, Fina. Fina, can you unmute yourself? Fina cannot talk?
Belum siap, Bu. Belum siap.
Oh, okay, okay. So, okay, maybe anyone here, okay, wants to try this. Say
Ayo,
the
ada yang
O. Okay, say the O. Okay,
Oh,
you
di
can
sini.
click
Oh,
the
sebentar.
person, all right? Santika. Okay, remember that the O, the first O that I asked Santika to produce, yeah, was, okay, say an O, but the context is that, Santika, did you know that you're going to get a raise next month?
Wow.
Okay, and okay. Santika is, oh, really?
Ya,
Disbelief.
kayak disbelief.
Okay,
Disbelief.
I've got disbelief. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Now, okay, can we ask somebody to respond to this by saying oh, but with a different context? All right. For example, I ask you, hey, did you know that your little brother just spoiled some coffee over your assignment?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Siapa nih yang mau coba? Should we like ask someone to unmute themselves supaya nggak cuma aku
Yeah.
doang?
Sure,
I think.
sure. Of course, of course.
Okay, anyone wants to try saying "oh" as a reaction to Bu Hafil's punya statement just now? Ayo di chat box.
You
If you're in
just
the
find
room,
out.
and let us know in the chat box that you're interested.
You just found out your brother spilled coffee all over your paper, your assignment paper that you have to give the hard print to your professor
Bu,
tomorrow.
tapi Ibu kayak nggak gawat gitu loh, Bu. Jadi aku juga harus gawat dulu. Bentar ya.
Oh, harus gawat ya.
Anyone? Nggak ada nih kayaknya.
Oh, nggak ada yang mau,
Oh,
masih
William.
malu-malu.
William, William. Let's
Oke.
unmute William ya.
Oke.
Coba kalau dari minta tolong sama tim untuk unmute William.
Yeah, because I think they are muted.
Belum bisa ya. Bentar ya.
Hai Kak.
Hai William.
Hi.
Silakan.
It's William, is it? Okay, William, do you want to try?
Oh,
Saying oh, when you found out, you say oh, right? But then the oh is the response to just knowing that your little brother spoiled coffee all over your assignment paper that you're going to submit tomorrow to your professor, the hard copy. So, what's the O?
oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Huh? Okay, that's okay. Great, but that's okay. Thank you, William. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
so welcome.
Thank you for taking part. All right. Okay. So guys, yeah, that's pragmatic actually. That's pragmatic. In real life, we don't always say oh the same way. Right? When you're very happy, you're going to say, oh, right? And when you're very sad, sometimes you're going to say, oh, oh. Okay? That's what we call pragmatic. So it's not just the oh. You're saying the same interjection. We call that interjection, yeah, in English. It's not just saying the same interjection, but it is saying it differently, in a different way. And that is pragmatic understanding. When you listen, they're going to ask you questions about what did the professor mean? What or how did the professor feel when he said this? Okay? And you have to figure that out not from what he said, but how he said it. So that is pragmatic understanding. Okay, just 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 giving you an example. All right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. This is just an example. Okay, we're going to do it very quickly for the reading. This is just an example. All right, this is the rise of, just in case you don't know how to say this is how we say it, Teotihuacan. Yeah, Teotihuacan. That's how we say it. The rise of Teotihuacan. So this is what you're going to get, for example, right? This is the title, okay, of the reading text. All right. And when you see the title, you're probably already thinking the rise, the rise. So it's probably going to be about growth, expansion, something that becomes bigger, something that becomes more of whatever it is. All right. Now, we have paragraph 1 to remind you. Okay, we have paragraph 1. And remember the list of questions that we had previously? Okay, so we usually, what we do is when you study for the TOEFL, right, you just remember the questions, remember the types of questions, because understanding the types of question will also help you to understand what you need to think, how you need to think, how you need to find the answer. Now, for example, the question is, in paragraph 1, and in the TOEFL you have this, right, which I showed you last week. And if you want to know more about it, for those of you who just join us, go to ets.org. You have a practice test there, a sample practice test, which you can do like when you are looking at the screen as you take the real TOEFL iBT. So it's on a digital platform. Yeah. So anyway, in paragraph 1, and there is always this number. Okay, and it's going to be like this, exactly like this. You're going to see the question on the left side of your screen, and you're going to see the text on the right side of your screen, in which you can scroll up and down. But because this is my PowerPoint, you cannot scroll up and down. Now, anyway, the question here is, each of the following is mentioned. That means each of the following what? Here, A, B, C, and D is mentioned as a feature of the city of Teotihuacan between 150 AD, yeah, and 700, except magic word. Okay, except, that means when you find this word in the question, it means you're looking for, are you looking for something that's true or something that's not true? And I think we covered that already last week. We're looking for something that is false, that is not true. So what you need to do is find out, okay, which of these options are not stated here. Okay? Okay. There we go. Something like this. So this is basically how you need to think, right? So basically you're going to look like regular arranged streets. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right? Regular arranged streets. Where does it say regularly arranged streets? But this is the tips. Yeah. The words that are used, words are in the text, are not the same with the words that are used in the options. You can always expect that of any test. They will never give you something, copy paste. What I mean by copy paste is that exact words here and you put it as an option here. Okay? It is always, the case is always, you have phrases here which means the same. That's what we call paraphrasing, or synonymous words which means the same as words in the options. Always remember that. So if you're looking for, does the text say something about arranged streets? And probably your eyes are going to go to the text, scan, right? Like a scanner, scan. Where is arranged street? Where is arranged street? You will not find arranged streets. You find arranged streets, but not arranged. What's the word that comes before the street? Oh, a regular pattern, a regular grid pattern. So what does it mean when it's a regular grid pattern? Is it the same as arranged streets or not? Now I'm going to see some of the, how can I see the chat? I think I can see the chat box, right? So I'm going to ask you, hello, I'm going to ask you participants, please, right? I think I can see the chat box. Where can I see the chat box? Santika, can you help me? Are you seeing the chat box?
Yes, Bu.
Oh, here it is.
The chat box here.
Okay. Wow, there are 99. Okay, chat
Wow.
box.
Yeah.
Lots of checks. Lot of chats. Okay. Dahana. Huh? Cory. Okay. Is it the same or different when we say a grid? Yeah. Look at that. You're looking for whether that's true or not, right? Okay. A grid pattern equals a range. Regular, good manner pattern. It's the same. All right. Beautiful. It's the same. So, is this your answer or not? Is this your answer or not? Remember, you're looking for what? You're looking for something that is false, yeah? That's not the same. No, Cory, thank you. This is not your answer. Eliminate. Okay? Testing, when you have options, is talking about elimination. Just like Indonesian Idol. Just like any competition. You eliminate. Okay, so this couldn't be the answer. All right. Number B, several administrative centers spread across the city. Yep, center. Okay, center. Several administrative centers spread across the city. So if you scan quickly, you have, oh, here it is, administrative center. Right. And then it says, wait. It says an administrative center. Is that the same as several administrative centers? Anyone? Go ahead. Is that the same? Okay, Santika, thank you. Okay, Jessica said no with an O. Okay, Justin, Yuriko, thank you. Right, it's not the same, right? Because on the text it says an administrative center, and on the option it says several. And so these are the key words. These are the key words, right? So you're thinking right away, this is the answer because we are looking for something that is not true. That is not the same. Okay? Hold on your horses because I do ask my students, wait. Why don't you check and recheck and make sure that it is not C, it is not D. Okay? Here we have many manufacturing workshops. Where do you have workshops here? You have workshops? Where workshops? Okay, we have workshops. Many manufacturing workshops. Here it says a large number of industrial workshops. Is many the same as, can we say it is equivalent with A large number? What do you think? Yes, Jessica? A large number is many? Okay. So that means that could not be the answer, right? Yeah. Okay. And you have industrial and you have manufacturing. Very good, Ika. Thank you. Ika was the one who pointed out. Yeah. Ada manufacturing and you have industrial. So that's the same thing. Okay. Great. So eliminate. That's right. Eliminate C. So B is still like the winner. Okay. Now, the candidate, the most likely candidate. What about D, apartment complexes? Do we find apartment complexes here? Here we have, in the sentence, we have apartment. Here we have apartment complexes. Yes. So that means you eliminate that too. And so the winner is, right? Yep, and the winner is B. Yeah. So this is how you do it. This is how you do it, right? Remember that the words, number one, remember that the words that are used in the text will not be the same exact words that are used in the options. Okay, so that means, what does that mean? That means you have to study, learn about synonyms, okay, about paraphrase words, yeah, okay. And many of my students ask, how do we do that, ma'am? Read, 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 and read. You've got to make English part of your life. You've got to fall in love with English, not just love, all right? Fall in love. Remember when you were falling in love for the first time? Remember your first love? You want to see the person every day. You want to talk to the person every day. You miss that, right? Miss or her if you not have some contact him or day. Now, not just love, you fall in love. You've got to fall in love with English, okay? Every day. And how do you do that? How do you show that? Read English. Yeah? There are now many, many digital textbooks, many digital, even I think all our media and the media news are digital. Okay. Now, number two, this is the last, I think, no, this is the second example that I want to remind you. Number two, automatically this is it's very, very clear that this is closest in meaning to, like what we discussed last week. This is asking for vocabulary, right? It's a vocabulary question. And don't worry, because with being TOEFL online, yeah, it is online. And it's digital, and with technology, that means now it is possible for what you see on the screen later on, it is possible for the word to be highlighted. So you don't have to look and spend and waste your time looking for the word, because automatically on the screen, you'll see that the word here, okay, is highlighted. So you just need to then, what does ingenuity in this context mean? So you read the sentences, yeah? And once you read the sentences, you will find clues that points out to A, B, C, D. Okay? And yes, the answer is D. Right. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details, but I'm just reminding you, these are how you tackle some of the questions in reading. Now, this is my question, and I really need your answer. So can we have an answer? Can I see the answer? Let me just see what's in the chat box. Okay. Do we need to read the whole passage? Do we need to read the whole passage? That means 700 words, right? The passage is going to be around approximately 700 words. Do we need to read the whole 700 words? No, 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 Bu. No. Okay. Ora. Okay, Justin, what does ora mean? Okay. No. Tami, are you answering or asking? Because Tami is like, no, with a question mark. Iba said you can skim though. Okay. No need to, only if you can, ha ha ha. Okay. But read the first sentence, all right? No. All right, is no, Justin. Thank you. Okay. I know. Okay. You're not sure yet, Nami. All right. Okay. Wait, guys. Okay. Listen. All right. Now listen. If you say no, I'm going to point out, and this is usually in the last two questions. Remember, you have 10 questions for every passage. And the last two questions, it's either, this is the reading to learn. Yeah, that means it's either insert text. Now, this is what insert text looks like. So if you read this carefully, in paragraph 1 of the passage, the paragraph that we just read, or that we just skimmed, okay, there is a missing sentence. The paragraph is repeated below, here, and shows 4 letters, A, B, C, D, here, 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 and here, right? That indicate where the following sentence could be added. Okay, so this is understanding organization, connection. Remember that a paragraph, why is it called a paragraph? Because it's a group of sentences that has connection, that is connected from one sentence to another. So if we want to insert, if we want to put this sentence, in fact, artifacts and pottery from Teotihuacan have been discovered in sites as far away as the Mayan lowlands, the Guatemalan highlands, northern Mexico, and the Gulf Coast of Mexico. Where would we put this? Would we put it in A? Would we put it in B? Would we put it in C or in D? Yeah? What do you think? Now, like it or not, wait, okay. It's not the answer that I'm getting at. Yeah? Okay? It's not, what's important for me now is not whether your answer is right or wrong. Because my job is to make you see, to make you understand. Remember you said, do we have to read all the passage? And you said no. Okay, but be very careful. When you get to this part, you do need to read very carefully this paragraph. You cannot just do what we did, okay, by scanning. Is there a word, apartments? Where does it say that there are arranged streets or not arranged streets, right? We didn't even read the paragraph. We just looked at words, right, that were in the question, that were in the options. That's what we did. We didn't read the paragraph. But when you get to this kind of question, like it or not, you're going to read. Like it or not, you have to read carefully and see. Okay. Okay? I'm not going to give you the answer. You think about it. All right. For me, the most important is that if you put it in A, why it's A. If you put it in B, why it's B. If you put it in C, why it's C. clearly, whichever numbers you select, you will say that it's A because this sentence is related to this sentence. And it's an opening. It is also related to the sentence that comes after it. Yeah, this is what we call coherence and cohesion, connection. Okay, now, come on. Let's do this very quickly. Number 10. The last two questions, usually in the reading passage. An introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage is provided below. An introductory sentence of a brief summary, the introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage, not a paragraph, is provided below. Here it is. Teotihuacan was a highly developed city in Mesoamerica that reached its peak between about 150 AD and 700. Okay. Now my question. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you have questions like this? Like it or not, you're going to have to go back. And why is everybody going ha ha ha? Okay. Yeah, I know. You drag and drop. Right. But this, remember the question, do you have to read the whole passage or not? When you come to questions like this, and this type of question usually is at the end. Yeah. Either it's number 9 or number 10. Yep. That means you do have to go back to the passage again, but you read. Okay, I got it from somebody. Nico, depends on the question. Yeah, depend on the question. But if you get this question, that means, because what does it do? An introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage. Right? So like it or not, you are going to, some sentences do not belong in the summary because they express ideas that are not presented in the passage. It doesn't say which paragraph. Or are minor ideas in the passage. Meaning, you've got to understand the whole passage. Meaning, then you go back again and say, huh? What was it again in paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3? Okay. Okay. Read the point. Take notes while you're skimming. Okay. Hi, Reno. How are you? I think that's a familiar name for me. Eka said, I'd love to read the whole. Eka, if you love to read the whole, and if you have time to do it, read it. I always tell my students, read it. Even though you do not have to read 10 minutes and try to understand everything, no. But you need to read it. You need to read it, get a good picture of what is this about, right? Just get a good main idea what it's about, okay? But read it. Do not skip, because at the end, you're going to go back again and then start over. Yeah, you get the idea? Okay, so this is what you need to do actually. The Tehutukan blah, blah, blah. That's the summary, right? And then you need to choose, yes, drop and drag, yes, or drag and drop, whichever. Drag, you drag it and you drop this. Okay, on the table there. You need to choose how many? 3, right? 3. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? Is it E? Is it F? Like it or not, your choice will depend on your understanding of the whole passage. you will not know which paragraph this is in. So like it or not, you've got to read the passage. But it's how you read it. Okay? The question is not, do you read it or not? You read it. It's how you read it. So, do we need to read the whole passage? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes, you do. But how do you read it, Cory? How do you read it, Ika? How do you read it? Okay. You read it. I think some of you already said, okay, William, big fat yes. Okay, William. Right. You do read it and enjoy it. Yeah. Enjoy it. Oh, this is about history. Enjoy it. Smile. Ha, we're reading dinosaurs. Yee-hoo. I never knew about dinosaurs. All right. Read it and enjoy it. And you just read. I think some of you already answered this. I'm just going to confirm what you said. You just read main ideas. Read the whole thing, but focus on the main ideas of the paragraph. What is the main idea of paragraph 1? And just skim. Skim is reading quickly. Skim is different than scan. Scan is when you zoom, right? Remember, question number 1. Skim is when you do not zoom, but you try to get the whole idea, right? So, and usually, yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Main idea of the paragraphs. And usually, where is the main idea? Now, the next question is, of course, where's the main idea? Where can I find the main idea of the paragraph? Okay, sorry. This is a typo, yeah? It should be main, not min. Okay. Now, you know, in the Instagram, I usually read min, please do this, min. Okay. Now, main ideas, right? So, main ideas are number 1, it could be explicit. Explicit, that means it is stated very clearly in the reading, in the paragraph. It could be implicit, that means it is not stated. And when it is stated, it could be in the beginning, it could be in the middle, it could be at the end. So that's what you need to do, spot the main idea. What's the main idea? Again, let me remind you that it is the author's point or purpose, usually stated in a single sentence. Okay? Okay. Yeah? All right. So, anyone know where the main idea is? This is not the first one, not the first sentence. It's almost in the last, because here it is actually. This is the main idea. Clearly, much planning and central control were involved in the expansion and ordering of this great metropolis. So it builds up from details, how the city grew. It had apartment, market, number of industrial workshops, blah, blah, blah. It built up from small to then the bigger idea, which is much planning and central control were involved in the expansion and ordering of the great metropolis. This is just an additional information that the city had economic and perhaps religious context with most parts of Mesoamerica. Yeah, okay. So this is the main idea near the end. Here, this is just an example, all right? That's what you do when you skim. You read quickly, and then spot the main idea. And then you write, yes, take notes, because with the TOEFL iBT, when you take the TOEFL iBT, you're going to have scraps of paper on your desk, and you can write. Okay, so make sure that you write the main idea, so that when you get to question number 10, then it's easy for you to look at the notes. Okay, let's continue. Right? Okay, now, this is what we mean by meaningful notes. Now, I'm going to talk about now listening. Yeah, let's go to the listening. Nanti speaking cepet sih sebetulnya, because speaking is very quick. It's going to take only like 17 minutes, right? Okay. Now, anyway, sorry. So, meaningful note. So, I'm going to now, okay, stop share. Just a minute. Let me stop share because I'm going to share something else with you. Now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, hold on. Okay, you're probably seeing my screen now, and I am going to share this. Santika, can you see my screen now?
Hi, Ibu. Yes, I'm seeing official guide to the TOEFL test 5th edition.
Yes. Okay. I think last week somebody also asked, right? The books. Somebody asked about what are books. What books do we recommend? Yeah, I will always recommend books that has an ETS logo. So this book, I know you cannot see it, but this is the official guide. How do you know it's really official or not official? It has the ETS logo, right? Now, this book is the official guide to the TOEFL test. It is the 5th edition. I think that's the latest edition so far, right? Keep checking on the ETS website. Now, if you buy this book, you can, of course, I think Pina used to give out this. I think Pina used to give out this book. Okay, you can have the printed version. I have it here. Okay, yeah. You can have the printed version. It's a 500-page, right, book, or you can also get it in the ETS website. All right, see how much it is. Yeah, and if you just buy the digital book, you buy the digital book. It only takes you 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You get the book, the digital version already on your email. Okay, and pay by credit card. All right, now I'm giving you, this is how it looks like. This is the official guide to the TOEFL test 5th edition. And with the book, with the digital, the PDF format, with the PDF format comes a digital DVD-ROM, actually. Yeah, and the DVD-ROM, on the DVD-ROM, that's digitalized. So that means you just have to install it. They give you a link and you install it, like what I'm doing here on my computer. And this will pretty much also give you an idea on how the test is going to look like when it's on screen. So we have practice test 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, on the PDF, you also have a PDF practice test 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not just practice test. It has a whole chapter on how to study for the reading section, etc. Now, plus you have the DVD-ROM, okay, digital version. Yeah, okay. Now we're going to take a look at section 1, and we're going to take a look at listening. Okay, yeah, and we're just going to continue where I left off. Okay, so I hope, wait. I think before I share, can I stop sharing, Santika? Because I think I have to,
Yes, Ibu.
before I share, I think I have to do something. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, share computer sound. Yeah, okay, done. Because I didn't do that yet. All right, okay. Yeah, dah ya. You see this? Okay,
Yeah.
now what do you do, guys? Take notes. All right. From the picture, you know that this is going to be a conversation, and it's usually between a student and a lecturer or professor. All right. And please listen and take notes. And the way I want you to take notes is student lecture, student lecturer or professor. Okay, let's see how you're doing the note taking. Yeah. Okay, so listen to the conversation.
Listen to a conversation between a student and a professor.
Hey, Ellen, how are you doing?
Oh, pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Okay.
Did you have a chance to look at my grad school application? You know, the statement of purpose I wrote?
Well, yeah, in fact, here it is. I just read it.
Oh, great. What did you think?
Basically, it's good. What you might actually do is take some of these different points here and actually break them out into separate paragraphs. So, one, your purpose for applying for graduate study. Why do you want to go to graduate school and an area of specialty, and why you want to do the area you're specifying, and what you want to do with your degree once you get it.
Okay.
So they're pretty clear on those 4 points they want.
Right.
So you might just break them out into, separate paragraphs and expand on each point some. But really what's critical with these is that you've got to let yourself come through. See, you got to let them see you in these statements. Expand some more on what's happened in your own life and what shows your motivation and interest in this area, in geology. Let them see what captures your imagination about this field.
Okay, so make it a little more personal. That's okay?
That's fine. They look for that stuff. You don't want to go overboard.
Right.
But it's critical that somebody sees what your passion is, your personal motivation for doing this.
Okay.
And that's got to come out in here. And let's see, you might also give a little, since this is your only chance to do it, you might give a little more explanation of your unique, the music program, what you got from that. Why you decided to change. I mean, it's kind of unusual to go from music to geology, right?
Yeah, I was afraid that, maybe the personal type stuff wouldn't be what they wanted, but...
No, in fact, it's... give an example. I had a friend when I was an undergrad, went to medical school, and he put on his med school application, and he could actually tell if somebody actually read it, because he had asthma. And the reason that he wanted to go to med school was he said he wanted to do sports medicine because he had this real interest. He was an athlete too and wanted to help athletes who had this physical problem. And he could always tell if somebody actually read his letter because they would always ask him about that.
So something unique.
Yeah. So see, that's what's good. And I think for you probably, your music background's the most unique thing that you've got in your record.
Right.
So you see, you got to make yourself stand out from a couple of hundred applications. Does that help any?
Yeah, it does. It gives me some good ideas.
And what you might also do too is, you might get a friend to proof it or something at some point.
Oh, sure.
Also, think about presentation and how the application looks. In a way, you're actually showing some other skills here, like organization. A lot of stuff that they're not formally asking for, they're looking at. So your presentation format, your grammar, all that stuff, they're looking at in your materials at the same time.
Because
right.
This is, of course, like a book for you to study. You could still see the audio transcription. It is. All right, you have the student and the professor dialogue, and of course, after that, you go next. Why does the student go to see the professor?
Why does the student go to see the professor?
School interview, to get advice about her graduate school application, to give the professor her graduate school application, or to find out if she was accepted into graduate school. Come on, guys. What's the answer? Anyone? B, 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 B. Good. Okay. to get advice about her graduate school application. Okay, now go next, right? You have to answer first. So which one is it? B, right? Okay, next. You need to choose.
According to the
Be
professor,
very careful.
what
Look
information should the
closely
student
at
include
the
in her statement of
instructions. So you
purpose?
need to choose two answers, okay? So let me see in the chat box. What's the answer, guys? Come on, people. To answer. AC, AC, AC. Okay, AC, 1, 3. So what does she need to include? Her academic motivation, and the other one is some personal information. Good. Okay, next. Okay.
What does the professor consider unusual
about the student's background? Can anyone tell me? Come on. Delta, Samuel. Okay, everybody said delta or the 4. You cannot see the screen? Okay. Music training. Yep. So this one, right? Delta. Okay. Then you go next. Yeah? All right. Now, and why does the professor tell a story?
Why does the professor tell a story about his friend who went to medical school?
This is rhetorical purpose. This is what we call rhetoric. Purpose. Why did he have to mention about the friend? Bravo. To illustrate, okay, to give an example, to give an example about a point that he said previously. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so these are just some of the types of questions, in your listening, right? Okay, and if you go next.
What does the professor imply about the people who admit students to graduate school?
Yeah? Imply. This is making inferences. Come on. They often lack expertise in the field of the applicants. They do not usually read the statement of purpose. They are influenced by the appearance of an application. Imply. They remember most of the application they receive. See, they are influenced by the appearance of an application. Come on. See, everybody answer C. Are you sure? Your notes. When I say, are you sure? You gotta give me some explanation based on your notes. All right? That's what notes are for. Yeah, I know that many of my students said, I don't need to take notes when it's conversation, fine. But sometimes when it's detailed like this, you tend to overlook it, okay? Are you sure it's the influence, or is it they do not usually read the statement of purpose? Or is it they often lack expertise in the fields of the applicants? Be very careful, because this is implied, all right? Check again. I'm just saying check again. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Check again later on. Okay. Now, what's this? Yeah, in listening, you have dialogues and you have transposons. What is a transposon? This is, you can clearly see that it's going to be a dialogue between two people, but they're talking about something, right? So I'm just going to stop here. Okay, I'm going to stop here. You can, of course, practice more on the website. And if you buy the book, somebody's still asking, what is the name of the book? The name of the book is the Official Guide to the TOEFL iBT 5th edition. That is the name of the book. Okay? Okay, I just stopped sharing screen because I'm going to go back to my what is it? Wait. What happened? Sorry. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So take notes, because I think somebody also asked me last week, what kind of notes? How do I take notes? When you hear conversations, of course, then you have to take notes based on what I would call like a chart. This is a chart, okay? On the left side, that's your student. The student is saying. On the right side is what the professor is saying. And take notes, because first, what is the purpose? Why did the student go to see the professor? To consult, right? To consult about the application for a graduate study. You're not going to have time to write everything down. And that's not how you take notes. You do not write everything that you hear. So you've got to write only phrases, right? Consult grad. So what does it mean, consult grad? Oh, consult about graduate school, application to graduate school. Okay. Statement of purpose. You're just going to write phrases, yeah, or short sentences. And then the professor said something about your statement of purpose should be divided more into paragraphs. It should be like broken down, he said. Break it down to what? Why apply? Why the area that you want to study? What to do? What are you going to do in that area that you want to study? And what are you going to do with a master's degree? That's basically what he said. And this is the WH is basically what you're going to write down. Okay? And then he said they also look at grammar, organization, you know, all that stuff. So this pretty much looks like a note. Yeah? And don't forget the magic. You have the plus here, you have the arrow there, which tells you how these ideas are connected. Okay, you can take a screenshot. This is not my notes, but I found a very good site, yeah, from Oxford Learning. So you can Google, right? This is what we call the note-taking method, which is, it's like mapping. This is what we call mapping. You map. This is also some kind of mapping. All right. Now this is mapping. The main topic, you have the subtopic. This applies also for your reading. When you listen to lectures, because now you're still listening to conversation, right? Okay. And it is best to visual for things that you want to visualize about the connected topics and ideas. Okay, and then we go here. We have the outlining method. This is the outlining method. This is what we talk about also, remember? Paragraph. What's the main idea of this paragraph, of that paragraph? And this is what we call the outlining method. It is easily remembered if you do this, yeah? When you want to review things. Now, these are note-taking skills, not important only for taking the TOEFL iBT, but it is actually important when you really study in university level, yeah? And we have the charting method. And I think my last note about the conversation between the student and the professor is a combination of both, chart with mapping. Okay, right? So read in chunks, understand at sentence level, find main ideas of paragraphs. Okay, this also goes for listening. Yeah, look for synonyms, remember, paraphrases, and take notes. All right. Before we go to our speaking, which is only going to take about 15 minutes, because speaking is very, very fast. Yeah. Remember that all questions are obligatory, meaning that you must answer it because there is no penalty. No question is to be left unanswered, even if you have to pray before you answer. because you really don't know what the answer is, ya dan pre answer. Okay? Note taking is allowed. Certain strategies help tackle each question. Remember, we did that already, right? And time management is the key. Okay? You have approximately, we'll go back later, yeah, on that. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to go on now to your can you see what's on my screen now? Not yet? Santika?
Not yet, Bu.
Not yet. Okay. Right. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just reminding you again. Now let's take a look at speaking. The speaking consists of 4 tasks. And you only have one independent task, but you have 3 integrated tasks. Look at this. It's not going to take even half an hour because it's just going to take, what is that? 17 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to share what happened to my, okay, hold on a minute. What happened to my mouse? Something went wrong with my mouse. And I cannot share the screen.
I can see the screen, Bu.
Yeah, I know. But then it's just that I can't move my mouse to where I want it.
All right.
Sorry. Now it's done. My mouse was like lost. Okay, here we go. Yeah, for the speaking, you answer a question about a familiar topic. And I think with the new test now, it's more preferences. Usually they will ask preferences rather than opinion. So it's like, what do you think? Is it better for like, is it better to study online or to study face to face? Something like that. Okay. So it's a preference question. Number 2 is, that's why we call it as, all right? That's why we call it as, what do you call that? Integrated, okay? Because you read a passage on a campus-related topic, right? You read a passage about an academic subject, and then you listen to 2 people discussing. Whoops, sorry. You listen to 2 people discussing, okay? And then you answer a question based on the passage and based on the conversation. You listen to a lecture about the topic that you read about, like question number 3. And of course, okay, then you answer a question based on what you read about the subject and based on what you listened, okay, about the same topic in a lecture. Yeah. So that is the academic. Okay, guys, I'm having problem with my, I don't know why my cursor is going here and there. All right. Okay. So we have the independent. This is the independent speaking rubric. All right. Okay, hold on, Santika. I'm having problems with my cursor because it doesn't want to
That's okay, Bu.
follow me. Okay. Is there any question? Can you just take questions now?
Yeah.
While I take care of my cursor because my cursor is going, I don't know where it's going. Here it is. Now I found it. Okay. Are there any questions? But anyway, fine. If there are questions, we can just take questions before I go on.
So far, we haven't have questions for you
Okay.
at least. But yeah, if anyone have any questions, if you're watching from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram Live, any other platforms, and you have questions for Bu Hafil, we will have a Q&A at the end of this session. So shoot us your question from the comment box if you're in social media. And if you are in Zoom, you can use the chat box to send the questions, and I will relay it to Bu Hafil later on during the Q&A.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, good. Now then, sorry. I think I need to just close some of my windows, all right? Okay, too many windows are open. All right. So I'm just going to stop share first, okay? And I'm going to again open the official guide. Yeah, and this time we're going to go to the speaking. All right, so this is the speaking question. Now I would like you to listen, please listen, and again take notes. All right, okay, so this is the question asking about an opinion. All right.
The woman expresses her opinion of the change that has been announced. State her opinion.
Sorry.
Explain her reasons for holding that opinion. Begin to prepare you.
Hold on. I think there is a problem because the speaking section, then we need to restart. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Number 1. In this question, you will be asked to talk about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare a response and 45 seconds to record the response. What characteristics do you think make someone a good parent? Explain why these characteristics are important to you.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep.
Prepare, everybody. Write down.
Begin speaking after the beep.
Okay, speak to yourself. Practice. Speak, practice to yourself. Seriously, speak based on what you have written down. You can see the countdown. I need you to practice. And after this, I'm going to ask somebody, Santika. Santika, can we ask somebody after this?
Sure. Anyone wants to practice with Ibu Hafil? This is a very rare chance. Usually we will have to sign up for like semi-private class or private class in order to do this kind of here.
Yeah, okay. So, guys, that was a 45 second, yeah? 45 second, okay? To talk, to say something, to say your opinion, right? Okay. Anyone wants to try it out? 45 seconds? Anyone? Hello?
Anyone want to try? Let's see. Vina, aduh deg-degan. Cory, Ibu, I lost the connection. I don't know what the information has been shared before. That's okay.
Okay.
Nanti kamu.
Unstable connection, probably. Anybody else?
Who wants to speak with Ibu Hafil as practice? Let's see if I can find any advice that I know from the participant list. Ya, kalau kalian yang kenal sama aku hati-hati nih. Let's see. Diding is very familiar. Kayaknya sering ke event kita ya. We also have Govindo here. Govindo WhatsApp me actually. Govindo, do you want to practice? This is a good chance. Who else? Let's see. We have Mark. Hi Mark, long time no see. I remember you. Muats juga my advice. Ayo, siapa yang mau nih? Udah aku panggil-panggilin nih. Cory just joined.
Santika. Govindo said, Govindo said,
Govindo.
Okay.
Hi Govindo. Yay.
And then, okay, Govindo. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yan juga. Siapa dulu nih Bu? Ibu pilih deh.
Huh? Okay, Govindo lah. Because Govindo was the first one who said okay. So
Okay.
wait. I need to Santika, can you help me? Time 45 seconds.
Boleh. Bentar, Bu. 45 seconds ya.
45 seconds. Govindo, hi. Can you unmute yourself? Oh, still muted, Bu. Host. Ini kalau Min.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, thank you. But I'm sorry if I cannot explain
Hi,
it
Govindo.
well.
Oh, that's fine. It's a practice, right?
Since
Okay.
I don't
You
really
know
get
the question, right? You know.
I don't know if I really get the question or not, but I will try.
The question is, let me just repeat, Govindo. The question
Okay.
is, what do you think makes a good parent? What characteristics make a good parent?
I think okay, I will try.
Mulai ya, 45 seconds. Go.
Okay. The characteristic I think that will make a good parent is like a caring characteristic, because by caring a parents can show their affection to their child. They can build a strong connection to their child. Caring characteristic doesn't mean the parents should always give something valuable to their child. Can be they can care to their child by giving advice, by giving direction, what to do, what is good to do, what is that is not good to do. Thank you.
Ya,
I didn't hear the beep yet.
On 45 detik.
Is it 45 seconds?
Tadi 43 pas dia selesai.
43 seconds. All right. So, Govindo, how do you feel? I'm going to ask Govindo first. Govindo, how do you feel about the experience? That's a 43 second. That's a 43 second speech, by the way. How do you feel, Govindo? Was it enough time for you to express yourself?
I think it's more than enough, Bu, because I feel very nervous.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, don't worry. I think you're feeling very nervous because you have me on the screen. You have Santika there with your advisor with the what is that? Timing, yeah, with a timer.
Yes.
All right. But later on, Govindo, you're going to be all alone facing just the screen.
Okay. Thank you, Bu.
Okay. So that I think will lower your nervousness. Yes.
Govindo, Bu, correct me if I'm wrong. The screen will have like a countdown as well on the duration. Countdown atau kayak ada time-nya naik atau turun gitu kan? Pokoknya 45 seconds, right?
Just like the one that you have, just like the one that I showed you, right? So, and it's going to go like beep.
Okay.
Okay, remember? Because then, that's exactly. That's why then if you have that DVD-ROM, digital DVD-ROM, it's very good. And also, if you have if you practice on the ETS website, right? You can practice on the ETS website, okay? But you can also practice on your own. Okay, so Govindo, maybe Govindo is saying, I thought that it's 45 seconds, only 45 seconds. But then you feel it now, 45 seconds is quite a lot of time.
Yes.
It has, don't you feel so? Yeah, and I think you got like in the middle, I sense that you're like a little bit like going back again. Okay, caring because you care for the children. Caring, gitu kan, you go back again, over and over again, right? Okay, so all right, I'm just going to, Govindo, before I give you some more feedback, all right, I'm going just to answer some questions here, because the questions come in now. All right. Does the length of our answer, Nico? Okay, Santika, can you help me then also collect some of the questions?
Okay. So
does the length of
from Nico is actually, bentar ya Bu, for speaking session, do you have any tips to eradicate my too solid accent?
What is your too solid accent?
Ya, mungkin
I've never heard Nico speak, so I have no idea what your accent accent is? How your
Jadi,
accent is, Nico? Okay, I will answer that when I show you. I will answer that when I show you the descriptor. Yeah. But Nico also asked, does the length of our answer affect the score? Nico, not really. Meaning is that if you finish in 30 seconds, but you can develop your answers clearly, then you have no problem. But if you go over more than 45 seconds, you're going to be stopped automatically because they're going to just cut you in the middle. They're not going to listen to you anymore, right? So the recording will be stopped. Yeah. So it's not really the time, but let me just point out that why they put 45 seconds, because that's about the amount of time that's quite enough when you want to express your opinion on what makes, right? What are the characteristics of a good parent? 45 seconds is enough to say number one, blah, blah, blah. Number two, blah, blah, blah. Number three, blah, blah, blah. As I think Gofino already experienced. Okay? So that's my answer, Nico. They will not punish you or anything. Yeah? Okay. But yes, they will cut you off after 45 seconds. Okay. And then Karin said the idea of speaking to yourself during the test can relax us a bit more. Good, because some of my students said it's better looking at faces rather than a blank screen, and then you see the countdown, right? 45, 46, 40, 45, 44, 42, something like that. Yeah? Wait. Well, that depends. That depends. Some of my students feel more comfortable because then they don't have to see faces, okay, with all the expressions. Some of my students feel better if you see people, right, that you're talking with. But let me just remind you, if you have interviewers, I know that there are other tests that the speaking is an interview between a person and you. This interviewer, I've been also an interviewer, and this interviewer has been trained very well to have what we call a poker face. We're not supposed to smile. We're not supposed to go while you're talking. So we just stare at you. Poker face. So it's the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Yan said, Ibu, please allow me to practice so that you can see my accent. Okay, Yan. All right. But can we do... Okay, wait. Is there some... Okay, Yan, just a minute. Is there some mandatory point that we should mention in our answer? I'm not sure I understand what what Ulfa is asking me, such as the reason of our answer. Oh, yes, of course. Right. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you after this. Do we have to answer in a complete answer, like starting the answer using, I think the characteristics needed as parents are... Nope. You just say, characteristics of good parents are this. In my opinion, good parents must have blah, blah, blah. There are many ways in which you can open your, as a sentence starter, as an opener for your opinion. Okay? So, Safik, it is not like you have to... Nah, biasanya bimbel-bimbel biasanya begini nih, you have to restate gitu. Not true. You can restate any other way. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Sorry, Yan, the accent question is from you, yeah? Oh, from Yan, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yan.
One more question. Do we need to speak loudly? In my last test, I was in the room with about 8 others. Yes. And started the speaking section in almost the same time. Yes. So I felt like in the middle of the pasar. Yes, Dahana, I'm sure you felt like in the pasar. Then I was afraid that too much noise there was in my recording. Don't worry. The ETS rater has a special, what do you call it? Recording, you know, that they can denoise the noises, right? Don't worry about that. Yeah. It's for me, it's making sure that you are not disturbed by the others, right? Okay. Now, Yan, you want to try? Does Yan want to try? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. And then after that, you're welcome, Dahana. Yan,
Yeah.
you can try characteristics. Go ahead.
Yes. For me, to be a good parent is to allocate time with your kids, listening to them, and fully realizing that they're not completely at the same position or having the same thought as you are. You need to listen to them, and then being a democratic parents. Yes, something like that.
Thank you, Yan.
We got
Kantika?
about 16 seconds left.
60 seconds left.
Jadi masih tadi pas
Come
dia
on, Yan.
16.
Come on, Yan. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, so you have the experience, right? And that's good. Now, what matters? I think Yan was like asking whether his accent, right, Santika, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
he was
Bu.
talking about accent. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me
He's talking
just hold
about
on.
accent.
I'm going to show you something. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bu.
And yeah, and we can then as a closing also, because next week I will be doing this again, just reminding everybody. Wait. I have not shared my screen yet, right? It's not there yet?
Belum, Bu.
Okay, hold on. Sabar ya. Bentar aja. Supaya sekalian this is the takeaway from today. Gitu. Ya. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, Bu.
Nih. Make sure that you are familiar with this. How do you get this? Go to ets.org. Yeah, this is what we call rubrics. Rubrics, because we have to know, you have to know how you will be scored. And ETS makes it very clear. Okay, this is how you're going to be scored. The TOEFL iBT test, ini ada independent speaking rubric. There are three parts or three aspects that you're going to be scored on: delivery, language use, and topic development. I need you to download this from the ETS website. Okay, the highest score is a 4. This is the general description. Okay, and the lowest score is a 0. Many people, and I think during our discussion at America, when I'm at America, and when I was trained, okay, as a trainer, we ask our trainer, of course, what is a 0? And the answer is, well, like breathing into the microphone, that's a 0. Meaning you don't say anything. Just, you got it? Or sighing. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to answer Jan's question, because Jan said my accent. Okay. And when you talk about your accent, Jan, you're talking about delivery. Okay. And if you look at this, if you look at the delivery part, ya, coba dia dilihat. This is a 4. Speech is clear. It may include minor lapses, minor difficulties with pronunciation or intonation. but do not affect overall intelligibility. It comes from the word intelligible. People can still understand what you are saying. This is a 3. Okay? Require, yeah, intonation, pronunciation, pacing. Okay, it is noticeable that you have problem with that, but overall intelligibility is not significantly affected. That means people can still understand you. Okay, speech is basically, this is a 2, intelligible. Again, the magic word, intelligible, through listener effort, but then listeners has to listen. The listener have to listen very carefully. What is he saying? Because of unclear articulation. Articulation is the way that you articulate the words. When I speak to you as my students, I usually am more articulate than when I speak to my colleagues, because I need you to understand what I'm saying clearly. Yeah. Choppy, right? You chop, like chopping an onion. Okay. Chop, chop, chop. Not a sentence. You don't finish a sentence. Okay. And this is a 1. Consistent pronunciation stress and intonation difficulties cause the listener considerable effort. Now, does it say anything? And this is not just for Yan. Does it say anything about accent? Yes or no? Sebelum kita say goodbye, itu magic word-nya. Does it say anything about accent or not?
No.
Everybody
I'm going to
answer no.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Tidak ada sama sekali mengenai accent. So it doesn't matter if you are Japanese English as long as it is intelligible. Okay? That's the magic word. Yeah? And we will be discussing other things in the rubrics next week, I guess, Santika?
Yes. Kita jadi ada
Right.
satu sesi lagi next Saturday, same time, 2 until 4 p.m. If you haven't registered, go register from our At America website. I can also provide you in the chat box if you're in Zoom. But yeah, you can find all of our events, not cuman yang ini, in atamerica.or.id website. And so, Bu, are we going to continue with the Q&A? Because we have 3 more questions or coming more.
Right.
So yeah. The next question is from Jeddah Ulfa. Is there some mandatory point that we should mention in our answer, such as the reason of our answer, maybe?
And I think, am I still sharing or not?
No.
Oh, okay. I think most of the answers will be here. So I think I still need to share this. Hold on ya. Karena jawabnya ada di sini semuanya, right? So that you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Majida, what you're asking is actually, tadi kan Jan's question relates to delivery, ya. Now, Majida question, ya, relate to topic development. Nih, topic development. Okay. So what we mean is some mandatory kayak reason, ya iya, always. You have an opinion and you have to back your opinion with good argumentation. And that is clearly stated here. Yeah, a 4 means, look, well developed and coherent relationship between ideas, clear progression. Okay, well developed, meaning you have your main idea, should be caring, should be loving, should be what? Why? Then you need to explain the why. And that's what we mean by development, topic development. Okay? Nih, why a 3? Because somewhat limited, the development is somewhat limited. It usually lacks elaboration or specificity. Govindo, right? Govindo, here. This was the problem that I spotted right away. Because you could not like, okay, so it's caring. Ya udah, caring, gitu kan. You did not elaborate enough. You did not have many examples, clarification. Okay? This is what we mean by overall. It is somewhat limited and it usually lacks elaboration to elaborate. Okay? Or specificity. And that's what happened. Sorry. That's what happened. You will hear people going like in circle because you cannot elaborate further. All right? And so for Govindo, you need to practice on elaboration. Ini juga menjawab answer Majidah tadi ya.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah? Okay. Next
Help.
question.
Semoga menjawab Majadah. So yes, you have to develop it. And sebenarnya kita ada question dari Vina, Bu. So she's wondering if, because we, when we are nervous, some of us might talk faster, like talk faster too. So will it like affect, the grading or something like that?
When you're nervous, you mean you talk, you don't talk like you usually talk?
Ya, jadi kayak kalau kita nervous kan kita kadang ngomongnya atau kayak lebih cepat gitu. Will that like
lebih cepat?
Yeah.
That is why how do we overcome our nervousness? I think is by practice, and practice. Okay.
Jadi
Vin?
Ya, Bu.
Iya kan Vina yang nanya.
Terus juga ini berarti menjawab pertanyaan Riza karena berhubungan dengan yang tadi Vina tanya. So Riza ask, how do we manage nervousness, especially during the time, the time limit is intimidating gitu.
Practice.
So, yeah, practice ya. Okay.
That's why you use your 45 second kan. You use your 5 second and notes. Makanya dibiasakan opinion atau kalau preference, biasanya sekarang yang banyak keluar justru preference question, right? Yang tadi, what do you think is more effective? Online learning or face-to-face learning? Misalnya gitu. Nah, itu kalian juga udah pasti harus 1, 2, 3. Apa nih? Cepet.
Right.
You have 15 seconds kan? 15 detik itu you have to come up with 1, 2, 3. Reasoningnya, kembali lagi ke Majida tadi. Reasoningnya apa nih? Oh, kalau online soalnya kadang-kadang koneksi. Oh enggak, gue nggak setuju deh sama itu online itu koneksinya suka ngaco, ini itu. You understand? And then you speak. Sometimes you're not even finished. I know with your points ya. You're not finished, but then you can develop it when you speak. Okay? So you have to practice within the 15 seconds. Sama berisik itu di pasar tadi, memang I always tell my students, kamu kalau latihan jangan di tempat yang sunyi sepi. Right. You have to latihan di kafe lah, di luar lah, di mana. Soalnya you will hear those noises, right? Okay.
Okay, thanks for the tips juga, Bu. I think that's very important that we got used to distractions. Jadi kalau something happened during our real test, kita nggak kayak kaget gitu. Terus we have another question from Cory. Bu, is it okay to have transition words such as in my opinion, furthermore, however, and etc. But with limited vocab and some issue, the purpose of this transition is to make the length of the speaking. Is that okay? Creative question, I like it.
And when they writing, nanti kalau writing juga gitu biasanya. Jadinya tiba-tiba panjang-panjang tuh kalimat. Kenapa sih gitu panjang banget? Karena kan belum 225 kata nih. Jadi ditambah-tambahin gitu kan. Yes, you can, Cory. It's okay. As long as it is relevant loh. Ngomong furthermore, tapi ya memang dibutuhkan gitu kan ya. Jangan terus tiba-tiba jadi jangan terus nambahin first terus padahal cuma 2 poin nih tapi terus ada finally tiba-tiba nggak ada apa-apa gitu. Finally that's what I think. Itu kan yang what gitu kan. Kita karena mikirnya first, second, finally ada lagi yang ketiga kan gitu kan. Tapi karena gimana ya? Ya nama-nama ini finally that's how I feel gitu. Itu jadi kayaknya kok nggak nyambung. You get it? It's okay to use transitional words. You must use transitional words. But again, relevance.
Ya. Oke, Bu. So, last question. I think kita udah nggak punya waktu untuk nerima more questions. So, if you guys have more questions, feel free to come to the third session next week, same time. And ini from Nico. Do you have like a cheat sheet for this independent speaking section? Like, for example, prepare 2 until 3 answers to the questions because 1 is too short for the available time and 4 are like too many. Jadi kayak lebih kayak apa ya, cheat sheet-nya Bu. Amannya tuh kita siapin berapa gitu.
Berapa, maksudnya berapa alasan kali ya, kalau ditanya kan ini preference, oke. Nico, saya selalu minta minimal 2. Karena kalau 1 nanti kamu muter-muter itu loh, dalam waktu 45 detik. Jadi paling tidak ada 2. 3 mungkin lebih aman ya, tapi kamu harus mengukur diri kamu sendiri juga. Saya ngomong yang pertama, terus diurai, terus dikasih example, kan? Terus yang kedua, poin kedua diurai, dikasih example. Nah gitu. Jadi kamu latihan dengan 2 kamu gimana? Tapi minimal harus 2. Karena kalau tidak, kamu akan cenderung muter-muter. Gitu.
Oke, thank you Bu. Jadi ini ada Ibas. Ibas is actually watching from California. Jadi dia
Oh, hi Ibas.
And he was very active in the chat box talking to me and Vina. Terus dia barusan kasih this text yang as if dia buat speaking dia 45 seconds. So I'm just gonna read it real quick and let me know
where is it? In the chat box?
In the chat box. Di Ibu scroll a bit ke atas yang kayak I believe parents should have.
Okay, just read it to me then.
Okay, I'm just gonna read it, ya Bu.
Yep.
Iba said, I believe parents should have 2 main essential features. First and foremost, it will be a supportive one. In other words, children will by far feel more confident to face any issues he may have. On top of this, forgiving should be the next quality one. Children will always make mistakes in any times in their lives. Therefore, I believe forgiving is the next crucial one. So yeah, I think tadi aku juga startnya agak late pencet timernya. Jadi I think this is like 20 to 30 seconds. Terus dia bilang kalau kurang dari 5 second lebih baik diam. Oh, kalau ada 10 seconds left to summarize. Kalau 5 seconds kurang, diam aja. Intonation drop and pace, jangan kecepatan. Because he feels like he is struggling with the pace. So yeah, what do you think, Bu?
Oke, so, itu tadi untuk Nico juga ya. Jadi tadi Ibas kan jadi punya 2 tuh kan, right? Yes. He came up with 2, right? And mungkin kenapa saya merasanya kalian jadi kayak cepet-cepet gitu loh sekarang, karena tadi kan senewan 45 detik. Jadi kayaknya tuh tadi kayak si Yan ya, Yan, saya ngerasanya pace kamu tuh kayak kamu kayak lagi dikejar-kejar gitu. Jadi sebenarnya gitu, tenang. Itu gunanya the timer sebenarnya. Gunanya timer, oh saya masih punya sebenarnya. Tenang. Because I feel that, why are you in a hurry? Tapi ternyata you're in a hurry, ternyata kamu juga selesai gitu sebelum 45. Jadi kayaknya tenang aja lagi gitu kan. Right? So I think, ya, and Ibas, okay, fine. Kalau misalnya masih bersisa, ya udah. Tenang-tenang aja gitu.
Ya, tuh Vina bilang takut waktunya kurang juga. So ya, jadi the bulletproof tips dari Bu Hafil itu kayak nyiapin 2 argumen, kan 15 second tuh kita prepare argumen kita ya. Kita come up with like 2 topics, 2 reasons, 2 arguments. Supaya kita nggak muter-muter kalau 1. Jadi 2 itu paling aman. If you talk a bit fast, maybe you want to try 3. Jadi kayak, oh pas gitu.
Slow down.
Krik-krik ya Bu. So yeah, maybe that can help you. But of course, practice is the main key here karena 15 second plus 45 seconds. Jadi kalau kalian banyak latihan, banyak familiarize yourself with the template and timing, I think you will do much better as time goes by, semakin banyak practice.
Iya.
So, yeah.
Satu lagi, listen to yourself.
Yes, record ya. Coba di-record kali ya Bu ya.
Record diri sendiri. Kamu dengerin deh diri kamu sendiri deh.
Jelas apa enggak? Tanah
Yeah.
Papua.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
just
good.
record ya. Oke. Jadi kamu juga, ini jelas nih, saya tadi ngomong apa ya, kok saya jadi kayak, kok nggak jelas gitu ya? You understand?
Ya Bu, benar-benar relatable. Jadi record yourself, time yourself. Jadi do everything that you can supaya as close as possible kayak di tesnya ya Bu ya.
Gitu. And as somebody, you know, I think when preparing for a test, other people in your family has to become victims.
Ya, kita bisa.
Maksudnya, mami suruh duduk dengan manis dengerin, gitu kan? Mami, dengerin. Artinya mami, gitu kan? Gitu kan?
Aku ngomong apa gitu ya Bu?
Ih, juga suruh dengerin, suruh kasih feedback.
Ya.
You need that, gitu loh. You need as many feedback as possible. Dan dari diri sendiri yang paling bagus, karena then you know how to pace. Oh ya, saya suka lari-lari kalau ngomong. Bentar. Articulate, right? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's that for today. Jangan lupa, we have the last one next week. Then I already mentioned this in the chat box in Zoom, but not to the people who are watching from our social media. If you're watching from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram Live, and any other social media platform, if you attended all of these three, introduction session, we had 12 sessions with Bu Hafil as well for the full prep course TOEFL iBT. I can share you the link to rewatch those 12 sessions so that you can learn more in depth. You don't really have to join all three in order to get these links. You just need to email me at salim@educationusa.org. But I encourage you to join the introduction session first so that you get the overall, and then you can go in depth if you want to. Okay, thank you so much, Ibu Hafil. Thank you so much, everyone who is watching from all platforms.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to see you next week again, Bu, and everyone else who's watching as well. Yep. Come in to our next week's event. We have other events as well, aside from TOEFL iBT. So yeah, that's that, and I'll give it back to America team. Thank you all.
All right, thank you so much, Ibu Hafilia and Kak Santika. That was a very enlightening session. We'll see you again next week. Now, the rest of you, please don't go anywhere, because earlier in this event, I asked you guys, is it true or false that TOEFL iBT at-home tests are monitored by human proctor? And the right answer is true. The human proctor will monitor test takers through ProctorU. And our winner, Rainbow Patrick Manueke from Zoom. Congratulations, Rainbow. Now, you may be wondering, how can I develop an awesome idea for a place like this? Easy. You can go to our website at www.atamerica.or.id, click Create an Event, and collaborate with us. All proposals coming to us will be reviewed, and your event might be featured here soon. And while you're on our website, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletters for weekly event updates sent straight to your inbox. Alright everybody, I think that wraps up this episode. It has been really fun, but unfortunately we have to say goodbye for now. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at ATAmerica for event updates, fun content, and so much more. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Alright, thank you so much everybody for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye everybody. Happy weekend.